Hey, Dr. Josh Wagner here on a beautiful August Monday. I hope you're staying focused, whether you are in practice this week or on vacation, like I will be next week in Ireland. Even if you're on vacation, are you putting focus working on your practice from that bird's eye point of view? That's oftentimes when you'll get the most inspiration, most ideas to implement coming back. And now's an important time of the year because this is the lull more than ever of the season, besides from that Christmas to New Year's week lull, from now through Labor Day. This is, like if you look at my past videos, again, just go to my timeline, you'll see all my past live videos. This is the time to be focusing on at least a reactivation campaign. And in my past video, I told you some of the 3 focuses for that reactivation campaign. This one I'm going to share about fees, as well as a breakthrough conversation I had with a doctor on Thursday that made a huge difference for him 10 years into practice with his mentality for his fees. So the first real quick example is that now is a time that you could be deciding on raising your visit or adjustment fees either for after Labor Day, September, October, November, December, the end of the year, or for 2017. And you could be letting people know when the rate change is going to go into effect as a reactivation strategy, not the best one, but just another one to drive people in to receive care before that rate goes into effect. And that could be whether it's buying a plan, a package, or just coming in for a visit. Obviously, that's the least likely candidate you want to attract in, but more reason, again, if you're raising your fee, to be using time-based care plans, because when you use time-based care plans, you can still have a per-visit fee, and the higher your per-visit fee is, the more attractive the time-based plan will be to your new patients. So again, get on the webinar at perfectpatientfunnel.com to learn about time-based care plans, which are making a huge shift in the profession and making it so much easier for patients to say yes, stay with you, more profitability, more patient happiness, and more referrals because it makes so much more sense to them. Now, in terms of fees, this is the part of the breakthrough call I was having with the DC on Thursday, 10 years into practice, but still struggling with the value that he charges for his adjustments and his care. And this happens to all of us in chiropractic, especially first out of school, but even if you've been in practice, just like this doctor, 10 years or 20 years, there's this issue internally with fees. Like, we're giving this great, amazing service that people deserve and so few people have access to or know about, and do we want to have a barrier of financial investment that makes it harder for them to receive it? I get that. Oftentimes, if you go into chiropractic, I know I did, it's for a humanistic and like serving purpose. I was infatuated and loved the philosophy of chiropractic more so than even the healing aspect and the actual day-to-day care. Another point for another day. Bottom line is, too many doctors equate their fees to either the standards in the area or typical adjustment fees, or the amount of time they're spending with the patient, which I'm not advocating spending less or more time. Whether you spend a minute with a patient or you're 35 minutes with a patient, as a doctor we equate, well, what's my time worth for that amount of time based on how many people I'm going to be seeing, how many hours I want to put in the week, and we calculate it that way. Or even worse, we calculate a fee based on how hard is it to do what we're doing to this patient, for this patient. Now listen, some doctors, it takes 15 years to hone their adjustment craft. Some doctors, you could learn what you do over a weekend at a seminar. So it's every spectrum, and I'm not saying it's one or the other. It doesn't matter what you are, as long as you're getting people well and you believe in what you're doing. The bottom line is the amount of effort it takes, or how long it took for you to learn it, or the amount of time you're taking with a patient is not the way to base your fees, or looking at the other people in your area or the national average and trying to fit in. Yes, if you're completely off the grid, that may cause problems unless you already have a wait list and people are seeking you out, then it's up to you. But here's the strong point and concept to really anchor to and really own when you're choosing your fees right now, or perhaps this season, this quarter before the year's over, when people get back from Labor Day, or 2017, a bump up in your fee. And just like with everything else I share when it comes to communication and the patient experience, it's all based on not what you think or what you want, but the end result for the patient. Are they having an amazing experience with you because of your communication, because of what your practice is like, because of the process you guide them through? Think about all the other areas I share about. But when it comes to your fees, here's something that's going to make it a lot easier for you. What's the end result your typical patients are getting based on successful care with you? And I don't mean just their pain goes away, their disc issue gets better, their migraines disappear. I mean the end result in their life. Now, this is the same way to communicate to them as to why you're going to do the exam, what you found in the exam, why you've recommended the care, and there's a very, very precise process to do that without scripting. But just when it comes to your fees, you've got to think for yourself. Mary, who has daily migraines, or Bob, who has daily low back pain because of a disc issue, and you get that 80 to 100% better, what's the difference that has in their life? Physically, emotionally, mentally, the ability for them to get back stuff to do in their life that they never had, everything that's missing. Think about that. And when you think about that, if you anchor the investment in your care, let's talk about like that rather than just fee for service, when it's easier to anchor to time, or how hard was it to give that adjustment, or give that therapy, or put someone on that machine, or whatever you may do, it's all good. But when you really anchor the value of your care and the investment based on the difference it'll make in the person and in that patient for right now and the rest of their life, think about how low your fees and investment likely are right now compared to the difference they're getting, compared to what they would pay if they knew that's the difference it would be, compared to what they are paying right now for all the other stuff that's not even working, whether it's over the counter, other methodologies and doctors, all that stuff that's so normal, let's say in the medical profession, to spend $1,500 on a test, let alone the actual treatment, let alone the actual results. And now you're getting the majority of your patients 80 to 100% better if you anchor your investment to the difference it's making in their life. Whether or not you increase your fees is irrelevant, but you internally to feel absolutely confident, certain, enthusiastic, and the leader when you're presenting them, whether it's when you're waking up in the morning, going to bed, or in a conversation with a patient, that you have peace of mind, certainty, and confidence, authority, and that you feel you're undervaluing your fees. And that's why it's such a simple yes from the patients, because the value they're getting is 100 times more than whatever they're paying you. And you should rather feel like you're undervaluing your fees than overvaluing, because then you're going to feel uncertain. And remember, whatever you're feeling, your patients feel. So if you feel uncertain, your patients feel uncertain. That's when you get the, I've got to think about it. I got to talk to my husband. Then you never hear from them again. But if you feel like you're giving away your care, now as long as you don't feel like you're internally sabotaging yourself, but again, this anchor of the difference it's going to make in their life, if you feel like you're giving away your care, that it's so easy for them to get, and the difference in the value they'll receive over the rest of their life compared to the monetary output they're giving you, when you feel like you're giving it away, people will feel that. And again, see the value, and as long as you communicate it correctly and effectively, that's what's going to make those yeses so much easier. That's what's going to make referrals so much easier. That's what's going to make people keeping their appointments and their retention so much easier. That's the difference between seeing a list of patients for the day that you're like happy and enthusiastic to see, and it's all high fives, rather than, you know what it's all like when you see that patient and, I don't want to go into that room. I don't want to have that conversation. Well, you can start avoiding those. Again, when you get that inner congruency alignment and reframe the conversation in your head before you have it with the patient, before you have it with your staff, of the value of the end result of your care. Not the time you're with the patient, not how hard it was for you to learn what you're doing, not what the person next door to you is charging and try to position it in the middle so you just fit in. None of that. Anchor to the value that they're getting. And yes, even though that may be $1 million difference in their life for certain people, if not everyone, to not have pain, discomfort, emotional stress, migraines for the rest of their life, you could still fit your fees into a generally accepted understanding by the public, but come to the conversation and your being and your energy with the fact that what they're getting is 100 times more valuable than what they're paying. And when you come from that space, internally, you will feel so much more confident and certain and like a leader, and your patients will feel that too. So that's my challenge, whether it's 2017, your new fees, whether it's coming back from Labor Day and you're using this as a reactivation strategy, or whether it's just applying it right now to your current fees and you don't have to change anything, applying that mindset. You know, that's a reason I get questions from chiropractors, or that's a reason I speak about the perfect patient funnel system so much. I talk about it, I'm always sharing it, because I know a DC that actually uses it, even uses 10% of it, will see 100 times return on investment. That's why I have no qualms with sharing it and the difference it makes for DCs, not just based on internally what I know, but look at all the testimonials. There probably isn't one DC that's actually gone through it and used 100% of it, but I see the ones that are using 10 to 15% of it and seeing practice get so much easier, revenues go up, profitability goes up, not having to spend money elsewhere, and whether it's a month-to-month relationship or the gold program, the investment is so nominal, and that's part of my gift to the profession of sharing strategies and sharing understandings that from everything I've seen over the past 10 to 15 years, no one else is sharing. And that's the difference I want to make for you, the profession, and the patients coming to see you. To dig chiropractic out of the hole it's positioned itself in, primarily because of all the strategies of the past 30 years of practice management that don't work today. That's my goal for chiropractors, anyone who resonates with this message, the profession, and the patients who are coming to see you. Because remember, if they're not having a great experience, you're not going to end up having a great experience. So thank you for the focus you're putting on your practice this week. Thank you for watching. Even if you're on vacation, it's the best time to focus on your practice, because you're going to be in a new environment, new sights, new smells, new routines, and it'll generate new ideas for your practice. So if you're on vacation this week, next week, don't 100% detach from practice. Have a notepad, listen to something inspiring, and take down notes of the changes you know you need to make, where you need to train more, where you need to grow, where you need to invest in, whether it's time, energy, money, for your practice to have new results, not just in the last quarter, or not just in 2017 and beyond, but literally in the last quarter of 2016. Again, after Labor Day, that's when a new practice can evolve, with people getting back on their schedules and a new rush. So make sure you're doing your due diligence. Of course, relax, detach, have fun on vacation, but check back in at least once a day to having that bird's eye view and working on your practice. You will get new ideas on vacation, more and more inspired ideas than in your, locking yourself in a room for 10 minutes in your normal daily routine, practice, home, wherever you may do it. So take advantage of that aspect of being on vacation as a bonus to your practice, even though you may be taking a hit, whether you're not open or your associates don't produce as much, whatever it may be. Use it as a bonus inspiration generator for fourth quarter 2016, 2017, and going forward. I alluded to, again, raising your per visit fee, how that makes time-based care even more attractive to new patients. You can find out about time-based care. It's the first strategy I share of the 3 on perfectpatientfunnel.com's featured presentation of the #1 reason why it's not as easy, pretty much for the first time ever these past 5 to 7 years, to grow and maintain a really profitable practice in chiropractic, but the 3 strategies that you absolutely have to know and master to have fun, ease, and profitability in practice, which are all almost counterintuitive than pretty much everything that you've heard and has been shared in traditional practice management in this profession over the past 30 years. That's what I want for you. Hopefully you can feel my intent and energy and heart. You need anything, send me a private message. Make sure to get my emails, hit reply to one of those, and stay focused this week. Thank you for all you do.